The humble brag is complete shit. And by the end of this video, you'll never have a problem sharing your strengths with others. One question I get asked all the time is, how do I admit my strengths without bragging? And I have learned a lot about this. And today I'm going to show you how to not sound cocky. And it all comes down to two things. One, being firm in your conviction of what it is you can or cannot do. And two, knowing what it is that you intend to share, or what is your intention behind why you're sharing this story about yourself. Now, I'm pretty good about not bragging, so I'm about to tell you some amazing things about myself. Doesn't that come across really obnoxious? I sound like, for all of you that know Cheers, I hope that sounded like one of the guys on Cheers, because it was my imitation. But you come across like that, right? If you can say, I'm not bragging, but actually I'm very... You can immediately sense somebody posturing and trying to put themselves in a place of admiration, and you resist it. It's in you to be like, I don't want to deal with that. This person's being cocky. But there are times when people will label you as cocky when you're just being confident because they don't understand. And really, it doesn't come down to what others perceive. It comes down to what you yourself feel in your heart, right? So, be strong in your convictions. When I was in my 30s, I was hanging out with my in-laws, and my sister-in-law had two daughters, teenage daughters that were strong, and then my wife was there, my sister-in-law, and it was just four women, all about 5'8", 110 to 130, 40 pounds. And they were saying,
hey, if you were to lay down on the ground, we could all hold you down. You would never be able to get up.
Because, we're strong, we're women, we're fit. And I just laughed. I was like, no, you couldn't. You couldn't hold me up. And I was out of shape at this time. I didn't feel like I was even close to in my strongest. And I just was like, you guys could not hold me down. Like, you don't want to get involved in a conversation like this with me on physicality because the four of you couldn't stand a chance. And my sister-in-law says, you are so cocky. I can't believe that you think you could hold us back. And I just laughed. I just thought, wow, you have no idea. I ended up laying on the ground and I let them decide, do you want me on my back or do you want me on my stomach? Whatever you want. They had me lay on my back. They all got on top of me. I let them get situated as comfortably and as ready as they wanted to pin me. And they said that they had to hold me for 4 seconds without getting up. That was their goal. And I can't remember what the bet was, but I bet something that I would not be held down. The whole time I'm being told how cocky I am about my ego and how I think I could hold 4 women back, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? And they got down and I just said, tell me when to go and we'll start counting. And they said, go. And I stood up like that. There was nothing. They fell on the ground. They bashed heads. They flew off. They're like, oh, I can't believe you did that. And then they realized I wasn't being cocky. I was just saying, yeah, you couldn't hold me down. I wasn't sharing the story to demonstrate my strength. I wasn't sharing the story to puff myself up. I just knew what I could do. I knew there was no chance in the world that these 4 little girls were going to, compared to me in size, were going to be able to hold me down. They didn't have the fighting skills. I've fought a lot. I've been trained in wrestling. I've done some martial arts. I've done lots of things. I know how to fight. I know how to move my body. I know they didn't. And so I was aware of all these parameters and I was confident in what I said, right? And so I was sharing these conversations. That is kind of the scenario, right? I had a conviction. I knew what I was strong with. Now, there are spaces in my life where I have not done as well, where my conviction was not as solid, and where I wanted or wished to be something, and I said that I was that thing when I wasn't. That is a brag, and it hits wrong. It is not coming from a place of conviction. And people sense this, not everyone, but the people that are astute and dialed into you will sense, oh, here comes the brag, right? And that can be, well, off-putting. It can be off-putting for the people receiving it. It can be off-putting if you feel like, hey, I'm not trying to brag, and they're believing that you are. Either way, it's hard, but the most important part of it is sitting within yourself and understanding, I'm within my limits of what I know I can deliver. And if I can deliver this, well, that's just confidence. Owning your space of strength and power and being able to stand and just accept it without any sort of hesitation or diminishing of yourself, it is a powerful thing. Not only for the people witnessing it, but for you. When you can own what it is you're good at without a brag and just say, yeah, I'm solid at this. I'm in the top 90 percentile or whatever it is you think you are. That is a good thing. It enhances your ability to lean into that skill. It enhances the ability for others to see you and give you opportunities to express that skill or that talent that you have in other areas. It's exciting. So figure out what these things are. Be firm in what your level of strength. You don't have to be the best, but you could be, this is the best I got. This is the thing I'm the best at. And I do really well in this space, right? Holding that's great. Then you go on to your intent behind sharing. When I was sharing the fact that I could not be pinned by these 4 women for more than a second, well, my intent was not to let them know, I'm way stronger than you. I'm a tough guy. My intent was just like, this is just a fact. Like, you can't do that. It's not a possibility. There was no ego involved. There was no hope to win glory or accolades or anything. It was just a simple, yeah, this is my reality. This is what's going to happen, right? And that is a fun thing. I remember when I played, well, even now, sometimes when I'm playing sports, not so much anymore because I'm not fast, but when I was a younger kid playing basketball, I would come up to guys that were checking me and I would talk trash and I would say to them, I'm going to take you left. I'm going to take you left hard to the hoop. I'm going to do a layup and you aren't going to stop me. And I would do it. And then at 28, I remember saying this. I was 20 years old. I was in grad school. I was playing with a bunch of guys that were in like early 20s, 19 to 21. They still had their fast feet. And I was starting to lose a step. I didn't realize at the time I was, but I said to this guy, I'm going to take you. And honestly, I was bragging because he was in his 20s and I wanted to get in his head. I was messing with him, right? And I'm like, I'm going to take you. I'm going to go left. I'm going to do a layup and nothing you can do to stop me. And I broke hard past him, drove down the lane, went to do the layup, and he stuffed me. And I couldn't believe it. I didn't get a step on this guy. I've been bragging because I wasn't sure that I could take him anymore, but I sure wanted him to think I could. And that bragging came back and knocked me. Like this wasn't a tough situation. It was playful. It was fun. We're talking trash. That's fine. But when you get into a situation where it's a socially volatile situation where maybe you're trying to connect with somebody and you want them to see, hey, I'm good at these things. It's in a business scenario, or you're developing a new friendship and you want your friends to understand, you can rely on me in this space. I'm good here. I'm solid. You want to be able to deliver to these people the idea that I have some skills that I know make me who I am and that I can deliver better than most of the people around me, or at least on par with the people around me. And I'm confident in doing this. And when you can demonstrate that and show who you are, it opens yourself to making new friends. It allows people to see who you are at your core without feeling like, man, this guy, he's like doing too much, he's bragging. And that can create a barrier, right? But it has to come from a place of intent that is just to show up, not to win anything. There can be no ulterior motive behind it. And this is really the essence of vulnerability. You're not trying to control an outcome with what you're stating. You're not trying to influence the direction of a decision. You're just simply saying, hey, I got this. I'm good at this. So what are those things in your life that you know you got? What are those strengths that you have? Can you stand up and own them when somebody says to you, wow, you're really good at that. You're an amazing talent in that area. Are you able to say, thank you, I've worked really hard to get to this place? Or Do you say, well, actually, you haven't even seen the best of me yet. I'm much better than this, right? What is your response? You can hit that really well, or you could diminish yourself, which is the other side, right? This goes back to Brene Brown's concept of standing your sacred ground. Don't shrink. Don't puff up. Just say what it is. Let your intention be clear. Let your conviction be strong. Let your desire to control the outcomes fall away and show yourself. And that, my friends, is how you can admit you have a skill without bragging, what your strength is without bragging. I'd love to know what you do. If there's some things that you do to, deliver that stuff and keep your equilibrium, or do you struggle? Do you not know how to step in that space without diminishing yourself or puffing yourself up? I'd be curious, let me know. And stick around, because I think part of this comes down to the fear inside yourself of worthiness. And I want you to know there's a video coming up, how I made fear my friend. Stick around, it's coming up. Like, subscribe, click the bell. You know you want to hear this.